receipt. Honorable members, from the foregoing, you will agree with me that once the member for Bumula gives the notice of motion this afternoon, the stage shall be set for the House to commence the consideration of the motion. To this end, members should take cognizance of the constitutional and procedural requirements, the threshold and prescribed timelines at different stages of consideration of the motion that I have just highlighted to you. Honorable members, in summary, therefore, I wish to guide the House as follows. Members at the bar, take the nearest seats. Take the nearest seats. Honorable members, I now wish to guide the House as follows. One, that the proposed motion by the member for Bumula constituency meets the applicable procedural requirements of Standing Order 64 and 66 for it to be admitted and considered by the House. Two, that consequently upon the reading of Order number 6 this afternoon, I will permit the member to give notice of motion for the dismissal of the Cabinet Secretary for Agriculture and Livestock Development in accordance with the requirements of Standing Order 47-4A. Three, that since today is not a day for debate, in giving notice of the special motion, the member shall limit himself to a summary of its content, state the grounds upon which the special motion has been made, and the names of the members who have appended their signatures in support of the special motion as required under Article 152 of the Constitution and Standing Order 66. That the clerk is hereby directed to publish the special motion for the dismissal of the Cabinet Secretary for Agriculture and Livestock Department in the order paper for Thursday, 2nd May 2024, in the manner contemplated under Standing Order 66-3, for consideration by the House during the morning sitting of that day, which has been agreed upon by the House Business Committee. The House is accordingly guided. I thank you. Go to order number 6.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Member for Bumula.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Pursuant to the provisions of Article 152(6) of the Constitution and Standing Order 64(1)A and 66, I beg to give notice of the following special motion for removal of Honorable Franklin Mithika Linturi, EGH, Cabinet Secretary for Agriculture and Livestock Development on the following grounds. 1, gross violation of provisions of the Constitution or any other law. 2, that there are serious reasons believing that the Cabinet Secretary has committed a crime under national law. 3, gross misconduct. This is in relation to the approval of the procurement and distribution of fake fertilizer by the National Cereals and Produce Board and submitting false information to a committee of the National Assembly on the distribution of GPC diatomaceous, which was distributed as a soil conditioner and not as fertilizer.
Order. Order, honorable members. Order. Order, honorable members. Order. Order, honorable members. Order.
For the interest of farmers.
Order, honorable members. It is out of order to be on your feet when the Speaker is on his feet. The House is still in session. Those members who want to have conversations, there's a lobby out there, there's a coffee shop out there, and there are rooms for the Speaker which allow you to go and converse behind here. let's give the House some reasonable silence to hear each other.
Honorable Speaker, do I start?
Yes, no, continue.
This is in relation to the approval of the procurement and distribution of fake fertilizer by the National Cereals and Produce Board and submitting false information to a committee of the National Assembly on the distribution of GPC diatomaceous, which was distributed as a soil conditioner and not a fertilizer. I have particularized each of the grounds and attached evidence to substantiate each claim. Now, therefore, in accordance with Article 152(6) of the Constitution, this House resolves to recommend to the President to dismiss the Honorable Franklin Mithika Linturi from the position of Cabinet Secretary for gross violation of Article 10, 46, 75, and 201 of the Constitution, the Leadership and Integrity Act 2012, and the Public Ethics Act 203, and for gross misconduct. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to Standing Order 66, the following members who constitute at least a quarter of the membership of the House have appended their signatures in support of the notice of motion. I will read. 1. The Honorable Wanami Wamboka, the Honorables Joyce Kamene, Raphael Sauti Bita Wanjala, Fatuma Zainab Mohamed, Paul Musimi Nzengu, James Wambura Nyikal, Gideon Mutemi Mulyungi, Julius Musili Mawadhe, Rebecca Nonaishi Tongei, Pauline Lenguris, Yusuf Mohamed Farah, Dick Maungu Oyugi, Irene Nyakerario Mayaka, Anton Tomo Lodge, Marianne Jebet Kitani, Beatrice Kahai Adagala, Adams Kipsaina Korir, Parashina Samuel Sakimba, Anthony Kibagendi, Martin Peters Owino, Catherine Nanjala Wambilianga, Joseph Maero Oyula, Stephen Mogaka, Doris Donya Aburi, Beatrice Kadeveresia Elachi, Shakil Ahmed Shabir Ahmed, Clive Ombane Gisairo, John Walter Owino, Thaddeus Kidhuan Zambia, Elsie Busihile Muhanda, Frederick Lusuli Ikana, Daniel Ogoka Manduku, Mohamed Aden Ado, Patrick Simiyu Baraza, Zamzam Mohamed Chimba, David Losiako Kosin, Daniel Wanyama Sitati, Gadhoni Wamuchomba, Mohamed Saud Machele, Samuel Onunga Atandi, Charles Ngusia Nguna, Mwago Amos Maina, James Opio Wandai, Junet Sheikh Nur Mohamed, Obadia Barongo Nolfason, Gertrude Mbeyu Mwanyanje, Geoffrey Makoha Odanga, Hamisi Chome Abdi, Erastus Kivasu Nzioka, Sarah Polata Korere, Kajwang Tom Joseph Francis, Makali Benson Mulu, Guyo Wako Jaldesa, Paul Kahindi Katana, Joshua Aduma Owor, Joshua Oduma Owor, John Mbadi Ngongo, Mishi Juma Hamisi Mboko, Hussein Abdi Bare, Innocent Obiri Momanyi, Millie Grace Akoth Odhiambo, Irene Mudhoni Kasalu, Patrick Kibagendi Osero, Jerusha Momanyi Mongina, Joshua Odongo Oron, Abubakar Ahmed Taib, Florence Jematia Segon, John Okwisia Makali, Mangale Munga Chifromondo, Geoffrey Ekesa Mulanya, Timothy Kipchumba Torotich, Ekomas Mwengi Mutuse, Gideon Kimao Kipkoech, Victor Kipngetich Koech, Catherine Nahabi Omanyo, Jepto Ngelechei Caroline, Stephen Mule, Lona Sankare, Peter Nabulindo, Mumina Bonaya, David Mboni, Jen Koyo, Charles Owere, Rashid Juma, Bashir Abdullahi, Abdi Ali, Tungule Kazungu, Ngozi Rai, Hari Kombe, Honorable Timothy Wanyonyi, Haika Mizigi, Fatuma Wajia, Kakuta Maimai, Nabwera Nabii, Innocent Mugabe, Christine Ombaka, Kitilai Olentutu, Joshua Malio, Gidhua wa Mashukuru, Mark Mwenje, Geoffrey Ruku, Mary Emase, Eve Obara, Otiende Amolo, Senior Counsel, Peter Orero, Babu Owino, Dr. Joyce Osogo, Amina Mnyazi, Adipo Okwome, J.M. Naika, and Honorable Speaker received even more. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And lastly, Honorable Speaker, I'd forgotten Omuher Harun. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Wandai.
Thank you very much, the Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, let me say that this afternoon I stand before this House a very happy man. Honorable Speaker, today you have made history. I want the Speaker to listen to me. Honorable Speaker, I'm saying that today you have made history and you have put this House on the pedestal of a transformative institution, an institution that adheres to the rule of law and constitutionalism. Honorable Speaker, under Article 152, this motion by the Honorable Jack Wamboka is the last resort that the people of this country, through their elected leadership, can take as a way of holding to account those that have been put in service of the nation.
Order, Honorable Wandai, you are anticipating debate.
I just want to thank you very much.
That is more than thanking the Speaker.
And appeal to my colleague members to turn out in their large numbers. We want this House on Thursday to be full to the brim so that we can speak in one accord. We can speak in one voice in defense of the defenseless Kenyan citizens. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, Chepkonga.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. You know, I thought the minority leader just wanted to thank you, not to appeal to us, to do an oversight role, which is guaranteed under Article 95 of the Constitution. Mr. Speaker, we are aware about that particular provision. So there's nothing to appeal to any of us here. We will play our role when that motion is presented here, Mr. Speaker. I can assure him there's nothing to appeal to us when it's a constitutional requirement for us.
I've already cautioned him. He was touting and soliciting. Honorable members, take your seats. We'll go to order number 8 before we come back to... Let's put the question as order number 8, number 9, 10, and 11. Call out order number 9, sorry.
Number 8. Can I start with 8?
The resolution.
Yes.
Okay.
Order number 8, procedural motion, resolution to hold a Thursday morning sitting.
Majority Leader.
Pio. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 33C, This House resolves to hold a morning sitting on Thursday, 2nd May 2024, commencing at 10 a.m. for purposes of considering priority business ahead of the long recess. Honorable Speaker, I'm sure members will note I have amended the 9:30 that was published in the order paper as agreed by the House Business Committee this morning, that we begin the sitting at 10 a.m. And Honorable Speaker, the reason for having this Thursday morning sitting, as you have ably communicated and following the notice of motion by the Honorable Wanami Wamboka, that motion is time-bound, and therefore we must dispense with it by Thursday. And considering that we are losing a sitting tomorrow afternoon, it's important that we compensate that sitting for tomorrow afternoon with the Thursday morning, and allow me to plead with all members to be available on Thursday, 9:55 a.m. for the House to be able to sit from 10 a.m., consider the business that will be on the order paper, including that motion for impeachment of a cabinet secretary that is time-bound. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, I want to ask members to be available on Thursday. It is also our last sitting day before the long recess, which is a long working recess, and therefore it will be important that we are here in time. With that, Honorable Speaker, I beg to move and request the Leader of Minority to second.
Honorable Wandai.
Sorry, just give me. Honorable Speaker, I rise to second the motion as moved by the Leader of Majority. And Honorable Speaker, really, since tomorrow is a holiday, it's a public holiday, we need to really recover the days we shall have lost tomorrow. But more importantly, Honorable Speaker, there are businesses before us that we need to dispense with. We need to dispense with certain businesses before we go on the 1-month recess. And top of the agenda is the motion by the Honorable Jack Wamboka, that we need to pronounce ourselves on as a House on Thursday, the earliest possible time on Thursday, before we can adjourn for the long recess. Secondly is the IBC Amendment Bill, which is one of the NADUCO bills that are being processed by Parliament. Honorable Speaker, this morning we had a session with you under your able chairmanship, and we were able to thrash out some of the sticking issues surrounding that bill, save for basically one small issue that we shall be dealing with in the course of time between now and Thursday morning. We should be able then, therefore, to dispense with that bill on Thursday at the Committee of the whole House, so that the Senate can be seized of it, for us to be able to have in place a working, functional IBC, Honorable Speaker, in the shortest time possible. So, Honorable Speaker, therefore, I think it is in order for us to support this motion, for us to be able to sit on Thursday in the morning. Even though we have agreed on Thursday at 10 a.m., let us try to be here as early as 9:30 a.m. so that we can deal with these issues properly, honorable members. This is a historic moment. You never get it easily. A whole House, a whole term of Parliament can go without you getting an opportunity to deal with a motion such as the one presented by Honorable Jack Wamboka. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I second.
Honorable members, I now propose the question, which is that pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 33C, this House resolves to hold a morning sitting on Thursday, 2nd May 2024, commencing at 10 a.m. I believe you moved the motion, Order Majority Leader. You moved the motion in amended form? Yes. Commencing at 10 a.m. for purposes of considering priority business ahead of the long recess. Put the question. I put the question? Yes. Honorable members, I now put the question, which is that pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 33C, this House resolves to hold a morning sitting on Thursday, 2nd May 2024, commencing at 10 a.m. for purposes of considering priority business ahead of the long recess. As members of that opinion say aye. Aye. Will those of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Order number 9, motion, report of Committee of the Whole House on the consideration of the Senate amendments to the Water Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 33 of 2023. Question to be put.
Order, members on their feet, take your seats. Order, Honorable Haika, take the nearest seat. Honorable members, I now put the question at order number 9, which is that this House do agree with the report of the Committee of the Whole House on its consideration of the Senate amendments to the Water Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 33 of 2023. As members of that opinion say aye. As members of the contrary opinion say nay. The nays have it.
Order number 10, motion providing a safety net for caregivers of persons with severe disabilities. Question to be put.
Order, honorable members on their feet, take your seats. Order. Take your seats. Order. Member for Bumula, take the nearest seat. Honorable members, I now put the question at order number 10, which is that aware that Article 21(3) of the Constitution provides that all state organs have the duty to address the needs of vulnerable groups within the society. Further aware that the Persons with Severe Disabilities Cash Transfer Program is one of the 4 cash transfer programs implemented by the government as part of the overall social protection interventions, noting that the caregivers undertaking the immense responsibility of providing daily care and assistance to persons with severe disabilities, PWSD, are oftentimes the immediate family members of the PWSD, concerned that this causes a disproportionate burden on these families as persons who would otherwise be engaged in gainful employment or other activities to provide for the families are limited by these immense responsibilities. Further concerned that this loss of income opportunities and resources exacerbates the challenges faced by these families, cognizant that the government ought to take action to recognize the invaluable contributions of the caregivers and support them in caring for individuals with severe disabilities. Now, therefore, this House resolves that the government, through the Ministry of Labor and Social Protection, recognizes primary caregivers of persons with severe disabilities as a distinct category requiring social protection and support, and further develops and implements a cash transfer program for these primary caregivers. As members of that opinion say aye. Aye. Will those of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Order number 11, motion, establishment of priority boarding protocol for Kenya Defence Forces and Kenya Special Forces personnel on local airlines. Question to be put.
Order, members on their feet, take the nearest seats. Order. Order. Honorable members, I now put the question at order number 11, which is that aware that Article 239 provides for the national security organs, including the Kenya Defence Forces. Further aware that the Kenya Defence and Kenya Special Forces play an indispensable role in promoting and safeguarding national security in accordance with the Constitution, recognizing that members of these forces face life-threatening risks as they carry out their duties to protect our citizens, particularly in high-risk and volatile areas, noting that there is currently no token of appreciation for the remarkable dedication, service, and sacrifices made by the Kenya Defence and Special Forces, acknowledging that it's important to accord special privileges and honors to our military and veteran personnel, akin to the practice observed in other countries, including being allowed to access Services like banking hall and boarding of flights ahead of the general public, further acknowledging that this practice will not only instill a sense of pride among the Kenya Defense and Kenya Special Forces personnel, but also enhance their morale and motivation, thereby boosting their performance and commitment to our national security. Cognizant of the fact that there exists no national policy or framework to facilitate the implementation of such a practice, now therefore, this House urges the national government through the Ministry of Roads and Transport, encourages local airlines to establish a priority boarding protocol for the Kenya Defense and Kenya Special Forces personnel, which grants them the privilege to board local aircrafts before the general public. As members of that opinion say aye. Aye. Will those of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. We'll go back to order number 7. Marianne Kitanyi.
Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of the Standing Order number 44-2C, I wish to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security regarding the delay of the Maendeleo ya Wanawake elections. Honorable Speaker, Maendeleo ya Wanawake is a non-governmental organization that deals with women's rights, issues, and gender equity in the country. The organization plays a critical role in advocating for equality and empowerment of women. The management of the Maendeleo ya Wanawake resolved to postpone elections which were due to be held this year until the year 2028, citing challenges related to the effects of COVID-19 pandemic. Consequently, an election board had been constituted to oversee preparations for the next election. Non-governmental organizations are required to operate within the framework provided by the Non-Governmental Organizations Coordination Act and are oversighted by the NGO Coordination Board. Elections are a very important aspect of such an establishment and signifying the adherence to basic values of democracy and good governance. Honorable Speaker, it is against this backdrop that I request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security on the following. 1, is that aware that the effects of COVID-19 pandemic are now under control and way behind us. What plans does Maendeleo ya Wanawake have to call for elections at the earliest feasible date? And 2, what mechanisms are in place to ensure that the NGOs adhere to existing act? Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Marian. Chairman Tongoyo, are you in the House? You bring a response the first week after recess?
I don't know, Honorable Speaker, maybe you guide, because I've listened keenly to the question, and I'm a bit worried it's supposed to be maybe in a different committee, maybe gender, I guess so.
Marian, haven't you misdirected your request? What does Maendeleo ya Wanawake got to do with the administration and internal security? Is it a national security threat? Why didn't you direct it to the committee of
Honorable
gender?
Speaker, the issue is the Maendeleo ya Wanawake is an NGO.
Yes.
And it is guided by the NGO Act.
The
That is the
NGO
reason
board.
why it has gone to the Internal Security Docket
I
Committee,
see your
because
point.
of that it is an NGO.
I'm satisfied.
Thank-
Tongoyo, you bring a response the first week after recess. The NGO board is under your office, under your care. Gideon Muliungi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, pursuant to Standing Order number 44-2C, I rise to request for a statement from the Chairperson, Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security regarding the death of one Mr. Benjamin Mwaniki Kadhengu. Honorable Speaker, on the 8th of January 2024, Mr. Benjamin Mwaniki Kadhengu of ID number 103-60586 was brutally murdered within the confines of his home in Hola, Tana River County, under unclear circumstances. The family subsequently filed a report with the Hola Police Station on the 9th of January 2024 under OMB number 32/9/01/2024. Sadly, the family is yet to receive updates regarding the progress of investigations. The lack of information exacerbates the grief experienced by the immediate family, who are further burdened by the unresolved circumstances surrounding Mr. Kadhengu's tragic demise. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security on the following. Number one, what is the status of investigations into the circumstances that led to the death of Mr. Benjamin Mwaniki Kadhengu in his house on 8th of January 2024? Number two, what measures as the Ministry of Interior